Welcome to Sewing Anastasia, and today we are going to be making a loofah out of things you already have laying around the house. You're probably wondering, what do I have laying around the house that I can turn into a loofah? Well, you can use your old avocado bags, your orange bags, your potato bags. The netting on these is soft enough to use to make into a loofah. So take a look in the fridge and in your shelves and see what kind of bags you have your fruits and vegetables in, because I bet some of them are in netting. Or you could just start saving right now and know that next month you'll be able to make a loofah. Supplies for this project are super simple. You're gonna need at least 6+ netted bags. All I have right now are 6, so I'm gonna make it work. If you have more, you'll end up with a fuller loofah. You're also gonna need a pair of scissors and some elastic or ribbon, so that way we can tie together the loofah at the very end. The first step is gonna be taking your netted bag and cutting off any of the plastic pieces that were on it, so that way you're just left with the netting. So now a lot of my nettings are just in tubular shape. So what I wanna do is go ahead and just cut them open. I wanna end up with really long strips. So see how many long strips you end up with? So I cut open all the bags, and now I have 7 long strips, and we are ready to sew these together. So grab your sewing machine and let's sew them together. So I've got my sewing machine set up. And today I'm going to be using the Husqvarna Viking Opal 670. So now what you want to do is grab 2 pieces of your netting, and on the short end we want to sew them together. But your settings are going to be very important for this. So you're going to be using a zigzag stitch, and on this machine it's 1/5. And you also want to make your zigzag stitch width as wide as it can go. And for this machine, that's going to be 7. I've also made the length a little longer, and I made the length 5. So I want to make sure I end up with a fairly wide stitch, and it's going to be a little longer because the holes in this netting are so big, and we want to make sure that we catch them and sew them together. So now we're ready to sew together these 2 ends. So let's go ahead and zigzag them together. Make sure you're back stitching at the beginning and the end as well. Okay, so now you'll notice that we have zigzagged these 2 pieces together. So if we go to open them up, you'll notice there's a seam here. So now go ahead and do that to all the pieces until you have a really long, colorful piece of netting. Next, I'm gonna do purple. There we go, check that out. Now I'm gonna sew this orange onto the purple. There we go. We have finished sewing all of these bags together. Look how long this is. Crazy, right? Okay, so now you can go ahead, put your sewing machine away, and we're gonna make the magic happen. We're gonna turn this netting into a loofah. Next, I want you to go ahead and grab your elastic or your ribbon, whichever one you'll be using to tie it all together. And I want you to cut 12 inches of it. So it should look something like this. Next, what you're gonna do is take your really long strip of netting, and we're gonna bunch it up. So we're basically gonna be making folds. So I'm just gonna take these big 2-inch folds and just keep folding it. Next, you're gonna take your elastic and we're gonna wrap it around the netting and tie a knot. And I like to tie 2 knots to make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, it's almost looking like a loofah. Now what we want to do is take the 2 loose ends at the top and go ahead and make a square knot. Okay, we're so close. Now all we need to do is take it and poof it out. So just take it with your hands and manipulate it and make it look fluffy like a loofah. We did it! Here's our loofah that we made from fruit and vegetable bags. How cool is this? This is such a great way to upcycle those bags and put them to good use. So here's our loofah from the store, and here's the one we made. I would say they're similar, not 100% the same, but very similar. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia today. If you have any questions or comments on how to make a loofah out of fruit and vegetable bags, leave it down below and I'll get back with you as soon as I can.